Hello again, Scrap Rabbit here, and welcome to the second installment of my Let's Play of Shadowrun Dragonfall. This time I have a lot more worked out hardware-wise, better webcam, and I have things a little bit better worked out with my mic and my recording software. So, hopefully things will turn out better this time. We'll see. Now, let's get into the game. Alright. Continue. Where were we? Yes. The Cruise Bazaar. I'm still probably totally butchering that. Like, totally. It's okay. Press F5 to quick save your game. Oh! There's a quick save. That's good. I should totally use that. Because I am so good at video games, guys. So good. Yeah, that's the problem I had last time. Alright. Now I can actually take a look at people's shit. Alright. Destroy all humans. Well, that's pleasant. Isn't that nice? Paul Amzel. You step inside, and the squalor of the disused U-Bahn tunnel gives way to the warmth of your safe house. A man waits inside, silhouetted against the dim fluorescent lighting. Something bad has happened, hasn't it? He steps forward, revealing a pale and expressionless face, light glinting off of steel rimmed glasses. Paul Amsel, your team's fixer and landlord, part dealmaker, part information broker, one of the most well-connected men in Berlin. His eyes sweep across the team as he takes it all in. The grim faces, the hard stares, Igor's fury, Monica's absence. I had a feeling. How did she... His face has gone ashen. He swallows, takes a moment to chew on the words before spitting them out. How did it happen? I'm a professional. Professional. Something in the vault security system got her while she was jacked in. It was over in an instant. I've seen Monica hit black ice before. This was something worse. Look at him with his tattoos. A little smirk. Gloria nods, her emotions robotic and spare. Monica died of a biofeedback-induced stroke. Igor. That's right. Igor thrusts a gloved finger into your chest, and this idiot stood by and let it happen. Let it happen? She jacked in, she screamed, and she seized. By the time we saw she was in trouble, it was already too late. Yeah, because you never bothered learning what to look for. Muscle contractions and microtremors are good indicators of a Decker in distress. I'm assuming you didn't have anyone keeping an eye out for those? No. If you had, my friend would be lying dead in the basement. Oh, shove off, Igor. We were all on the lookout for physical security, Scrap Rabbit included. Throwing her under the bus isn't going to help anything. Under a bus is exactly where she belongs. Igor turns to face Dietrich. She towers over him, but he stands his ground. I respect you, Dietrich, you know that, but you don't have my training. None of you have. Monica was good. She was the best, right? But she was also overconfident. She treated the job like it was a game. You do that long enough, and you're gonna get burned. Something seems off here. Igor turns her focus back to you. If you'd been paying attention, you'd have figured all of this out on your own by now. You've known that Monica needed watching as much as the door. Enough, Igor. Amsel's voice is hoarse, his expression blank. Enough. Igor pushes ahead, heedless of the interruption. Her voice remains measured, but there's fire in her eyes. How many seconds pass between Monica's first convulsion and her plug getting pulled? 4, 5. Do you know how much damage biofeedback can do to a Decker's brain in 5 seconds? Look, this won't. You don't have to answer that. Of course you know. Monica died while you stood there and watched them. This is all your fault. That is enough. Amsel's voice comes out in a roar, and his fist smashes down on the desk behind him. Igor, you and Scrap Rabbit can have it out later, but I've had enough. We need to talk action. Our client sent you into something much bigger than he led us to believe. I want to know why. Right with you there. This was supposed to be a milk run. Payback isn't the only reason why we need to find him. We saw something back there, something that we weren't supposed to see. It's fair to assume that we're all still in danger. He pauses, rubs his temples. Agreed. And to neutralize that danger, we need to know who we are dealing with. Let us review the events that transpired tonight. The smallest detail could be important, so hold nothing back. There we go. Monica lived long enough to say a name. Freuschwig. She fought hard to tell us. It must be important. Ansel seems taken aback. He pauses for a moment before responding. The Firewing. This is unexpected. You'll have to forgive me. This brings back many unpleasant memories. I think one of my cats is meowing. I apologize if that comes through in the recording. Gloria raises an eyebrow. The Firewing. The most terrible of the great dragons. There are those who would disagree, but they've never experienced the terror of living in her shadow. He glances at Glory. You are far too young to remember her, of course, but for Germans of my generation, the name Frühling is synonymous with chaos, destruction, and death. I'm gonna keep mispronouncing it. I'm gonna butcher so many words. So many. You have no idea. The dragons of today are subtle creatures, full of patience and guile. Fushrun was not. After her awakening, she went on a 4-month rampage that claimed tens of thousands of lives. Amsel takes a deep breath, slowly releases it. There is a haunted look in his eyes. Those were dark days. Countless men, women, and children were slaughtered, roasted alive in their homes by a creature of legend. No hope for salvation, and no end in sight. It was a horror that you cannot begin to understand. What stopped her? I can't imagine that a rampaging dragon would just go away on her own. Eventually, the Firewind was brought down by a man named Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Claire? Yep. No other name I'm gonna butcher. with the help of the Luftwaffe, of course, but it was experimental weapons designed by Dr. Vauclair that finally pierced her hide. She fell in a hail of bullets and rocket fire and crashed down in the radioactive wasteland of the SOX. This event was called the Dragonfall. Safe at last from the Dragon's wrath, Germany celebrated Vauclair as a hero. Our own Siegfried, a modern-day dragon slayer. My own family practically worshipped the man. If the Dragonfall was as important an event as you make it out to be, I'm surprised that I've never heard of it. Those early years of the awakening were traumatic, Igor, not just on a national level, but on a global scale. New species of awakened animals were being discovered daily. Within 2 years of the Dragonfall, the active use of magic had returned to the world, a new source of terror for a bewildered public, and in 2021, the sudden emergence of orcs and trolls gave rise to yet another wave of global panic. In light of such turmoil, is it any surprise that Dr. Vauclair and the Firewing were forgotten? Dragons were yesterday's news. He rubs his temples. Again, all this happened decades ago. To the best of my knowledge, the story of the Führerschwing. See, in German, there are no silent letters, so every letter is pronounced. But there are diphthongs, so the EU does matter. EU? Führerschwinge? Schwinge? Führerschwinge? No, that doesn't sound right. Führerschwinge. Sounds better, but this is gonna keep bugging me. It's a bit of a historical trivia, and nothing more. Alright, so Monica spent her dying breath trying to tell us all about a long-dead dragon. Igor sweeps her eyes across the group, searching for a glimmer of insight. Finally, she gives up. Any ideas as to why? Amsel's voice trembles with frustration. No, it doesn't make any more sense to me than it does to you. The Dragonfall is ancient history. Führerschwinge has been dead and gone for 42 years. If there's one thing that I do know, whatever Monica saw, whatever she was trying to tell us, it was important. He visibly struggles to calm himself, takes a deep breath, and slowly releases it. I will look into this, and I will find answers. In the meantime, did you turn up anything else of value? After everything went to hell, we were confronted by an orc in military-grade equipment. He appeared to be the head of security. That is not much to go on. Do any details about this orc come to mind? Any distinguishing features that I could look into? He was an older guy, for one. From the sound of his voice, I'm guessing mid to late 40s. Pretty old for an orc. And he'd had skin grafts. Most of his face looked like replacement material. If the grafts came from a legitimate hospital, or maybe medical records. That is something. We'll see if I can find out. Do you have anything else during the run that may be of value? His state was just a front for whatever was going on in the basement. Ansel nods. That much is clear. I totally should have taken that vase and gone into that other room. God, I am such an idiot. I am so good at video games. So good. It wasn't a minor enterprise either. The facility took serious funds to build. A German accent is probably so horrendous. God, I am probably so offensive. I am so sorry, Germans. So sorry. And time. There was more to it than we saw. A place like that didn't spring up overnight. The Dolan secret. The owners, whoever they may be, were none too pleased by your escape, I'm sure. What else did you find? That's all we got. It's not much. Ansel nods. His face is drawn and haggard. It is thin, I agree. A basement, a middle-aged orc with skin grafts, a long-forgotten world event. Wait, we're still missing something. Who paid for this run? Amsel looks pained. I don't know his exact identity. I did not set up for the run. Monica did. Oh god, Monica. His face reddens. I warned her. I told her not to take the job. She assured me it would be a cakewalk. Monica was approached recently by a man who calls himself Green Winters. He used to be a prominent activist in the F-state political scene. I never much liked the man. I certainly never trusted him. But Monica, she would do anything for her cause. Anything for the Flux state. Winters swore that the data he was after was crucial to ensuring the future stability of the Flux. And that was all it took. Sounds like Green Winters is our best lead then. Yes, most definitely. It's clear that Green Winters has involved us in something much larger than he led Monica to believe. When he finds out what happened on the run, he's probably gonna rabbit. We need to chase him down before that happens. So we need information on Green Winters, and we need it fast. There's a man here in the Cruise Bazaar, a Turk named Otog Barakazi? Yep. More names I can't pronounce. He owns a little soy calf shop just down the way called Cafe Save. This man is also a purveyor of information. I have done business with him from time to time. I do think he would know something about Green Vinthos. Amsel nods. When I discovered Monica's renewed association with Green Winters, I contacted Altog. One of his people has been keeping tabs on Winters ever since. As I said, I did not trust the man. For good reason, it would seem. I'll talk to Altog and see what he knows about Green Winters. Very well. Tell him I sent you. I'll do what I can to take the information that you've uncovered already. Sparse through it, sparse though it may be. I've gained 5 karma. Let's spend that, like, right now. There's some things that need improved. Like my friggin' rifle. That looks good. Scrub Rabbit. Emsel peers at you apprehensively. His eyes are bloodshot as his expression grim. Did you get the information on Green Winters? No, not yet. Please, continue working. We need to find the map. Dietrich! Dietrich turns his head at your approach. His aging face is traced with a network of faint scars, the legacy of too many fights over too many years. While he still retains a degree of strength and vigor, it's obvious that the shaman you see today is a shadow of his former self. Despite all of this, there's still an aura of power surrounding the man. He raises his bottle, offering it to you. Scrap Rabbit, welcome. I've got a bottle of schnapps that needs sharing, and we've got a fallen comrade to drink to. To Monaco. Prost. The liquor in the bottle is crystal clear, and as you raise it, you catch an intoxicating whiff of cloves and caramel. It tastes of sweet corn and walnuts, with a lingering aftertaste of buttery toffee. You swallow a swig, then return the bottle to Dietrich's outstretched hand. He takes a long pull of the bottle, then locks eyes with you. Let me ask you a question, Scrap Rabbit. What made you choose to come to Berlin? Why do you want to know? Monaco told me that you moved here from the Rhine-Ruhr megaplex. It made it sound like you'd been there for a good many years. Successful years at that. Leads a man to wonder why you packed up and moved here. Ooh, I get to pick. So why did I leave previously? Am I the survivor of a failed team? Was I betrayed? Did I have to drop out of sight for a while? I just had to drop out of sight for a while. Sure enough, I think that most of the team is here to hide from something. Not me, of course. Given the choice between hiding from something and punching it smack in the nose, you know which direction I tend to lean. But the others, yeah, even Igor's hiding out from something. Really? How do you know? Intuition. You got the nose for damaged people. Of course, I spent most of my life running with and playing for folks who are damaged in one way or another, so that might have something to do with it. So, got heavy back in Ruplex, decided to bail and head to Berlin. Am I getting that right? More or less, there wasn't much left for me in Ruplex, and Monica made me a hell of an offer. Ah, yes, Monica. Dietrich raises his bottle again, closes his eyes, and takes a long drink. After a moment has passed, he returns his attention to you. It all comes back to our girl, doesn't it? So let me ask you, just what was your relationship with Monica anyway? I know you two knew each other way back, but she was pretty coy about these things. What do you want to know? Monica was my friend. I cared about her. Dietrich shrugs. I don't know. I guess that I just want to get to know her better. There were some areas of her life that have always been a mystery, and if you could shed any light on them, I'd be appreciative. I knew Monica well enough to know what you mean. She did have a mysterious way about her. So what was the deal between the two of you? Don't leave me in suspense. Boom! We were very close. Is that so? Dietrich raises an eyebrow. Huh. Learn something new every day. Boom! Totally canon now. Haha! I am overly excited about the choices here. Anyway, this is one of the things I love about Harebrained Studios, actually. And they did this really well with the first game, is that they wove this incredibly interactive story that felt complete at the end. Like, it was completely your story. Tons of options to choose from, tons of ways to play it through, and it all led to the end, and it all just fit. So they have a handle on this choose your own adventure thing, and just really let you feel like your character belongs in this world, and that you really are given a lot of choice and freedom. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not a completely open system, but it's very open. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see where they take it with this, and if it has the exact same feeling of closure at the end, despite how much choice is and how much the choice actually matters. Because in the first one, it felt like your choice truly mattered, and it would be awesome if that carried through into this one. We'll see. Well, anyway, good on you both. Dietrich raises his bottle to you and salutes. She was a wonderful woman, and I hope that your time together was happy. Anyway, I've taken enough of your time, and the bottle's almost empty. Thanks for taking the time to talk, and for what it's worth, I'm happy you're here with us. Dietrich takes a final pull on the bottle and tips it forward, pouring the rest on the ground. Rest in peace, Monica. We'll miss you, girl. It's a puppy! Oh my god, it's a puppy! As you start towards the safe house door, a large four-legged form steps around the corner. Dante, Monica's dog, an enormous mongrel of indeterminate breed. A low whimpering emerges as he enters the room, head hanging low. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry! Oh my god! Oh shit, Dante. Dietrich shakes his head. Don't worry, boy. They'll look after you. At the sight of Monica's dog, Amsel eyes well up. He inhales, but can't quite catch his breath. He started whimpering about an hour ago, turned into a full-blown howl. Wouldn't stop, kept. He closed his eyes. That's when I realized something bad had happened. Looking down into those huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. He lets out a small whine and rubs his head against you. Oh my god! I can't... Why do you even have these options? What monster would choose those? How could... Fluffers, you're getting a treat. Dante takes the treat in his mouth, but it's clear he has no appetite for it, and the jerky drops to the floor. He leans into you and looks up mournfully, pressing his ribs against her leg. I guess the dog is going with you, Scott Rabbit. Ansel takes the ragged breath and releases it. Then a slow, melancholy smile plays across his face. Well, perhaps a part of Monica lives on in Dante. Return to the safe house when you're finished with Altog, mein Freunden. With a little luck, you can help us locate Green Winters, and we can get to the bottom of this. I should be giving him a German accent as well. I mean, really. But, I mean, I'm already being offensive enough with Dietrich's. God, I'm trying to give him a good one. Just, anyways, he stares at the floor. And now, I think we should all take a moment. His lips tighten for Monica. Oh my god, puppers. Oh my god. Explore. sucks. I'm gonna talk with Igor. Or not. Igor glares at you, but you can taste the bile in her stare. She clearly still blames you for Monica's death. Something I can do for you, fearless leader. We need to talk about Monica. Not right now, we don't. Don't push me on this, Scrap Rabbit. One of these days, we're gonna hash this out. You can talk all you like about the clusterfuck that killed one of my best friends, but it won't be today. Fair enough. Before I go, I have something else to say. Spit it out then. Let's hear it. You're wrong about me, Igor. I intend to prove that to you. She stares at you for a moment, then looks away. Best of luck with that, Scrap Rabbit. Now please, leave me alone. We're eager, but this conversation isn't over. It is for now, fearless leader. She turns away. Do us both a favor. Take the hint and go away. Kinda wanna just smack her. Glory is beautiful in a wafer sort of way. Her features are almost elfish in their delicacy. Delicacy? I guess. And there's something cold about her that you find slightly unsettling. Okay, I guess I should go clean right now. I have a slight speech impediment. I mean, it normally doesn't show through that bad, but the more I speak, the more you're gonna notice it if you haven't noticed it already. It's, yeah. So, my apologies. Please bear with me. I'll do the best I can. And, I mean, at least it's kind of funny, I think. What's more unsettling is her crone. Gloria is rocking a heavy load out of cyberware from her head to her toe. She looks to be composed more of plastic and metal than she is of skin and bone. In the shadows, individuals such as this are anything but uncommon. But Gloria's cyberware is first generation. All of it. Bulky, invasive, practically museum pieces. This chrome was obsolete well before she was born. Scrap Rabbit. Glory shifts her gaze to you, but her expression is as cool and placid as always. Can I help you? I'm gonna ask her how she's holding up, because, I don't know, maybe she just can't show emotion and actually has them. Don't worry about me. I'm solid. You say you're good? You're good. I trust you. Glory's expression remains neutral, but she grants you a barely perceptible nod. Any thoughts on what we should do next? Find her disinclined, extract some answers. Beyond that, find another Decker. Monica won't be easy to replace. Best start looking now. I have a question for you, Glory, of a personal kind. I'm not big on sharing sport. Personal reasons. You understand, I'm sure. The edge in her voice tells you that she's not interested in continuing the conversation. Of course, we all have our secrets, but if you ever want to talk, I'm here. Well, I ain't gonna press her. No clue what that means, but... Anyways, sorry that this entire episode was mostly just taken up by just talking. But that's the nature of these role-playing games. Hopefully next time there'll be a little bit more action, but you know how it works with these story-driven games. As always, um, if you have any suggestions on what I should play after I finish up this game, feel free to leave them in comments or send me a message. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you next time. Have a wonderful evening.